What's up, guys? Welcome back to the JVid and YouTube channel. We're here with a good friend of mine from YouTube. He came down from Michigan, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, from Michigan. He's over here taking care of some business, so we ended up meeting up. He has a great YouTube channel. I'll link it down below, pop it on the screen so you guys can check it out. But we're both young truck drivers, so we're going to give you guys some good information. In the other video I recorded earlier with the same outfit, you guys will see it. I did mention that in trucking, there's very different kind of people. I'm doing day cab with Ag. He's doing very different kind of freight, so that's why we're doing this video for you guys. So you have to get an idea of how different things could be in the same industry. So tell us a little about how you got into the industry and what equipment do you have or what do you drive?
So pretty much, I went to go get my CDL like around this time 2 years ago, 2019.
Nice.
My pops, he was driving trucks, so he pretty much told me like, I decided I just wanted to get my CDL. So I went and I got my CDL, and it was like, I can plug you with the company I'm with. So I pretty much went and worked with the same company that he worked for, and he trained me for like 3 months.
Nice.
So pretty much I worked like with him, like we team drove for like 3 months, and then he became like an owner operator. So I saw like his whole entire process.
Nice.
And I like became a company driver after that for like 10 months, 10, 11 months. And then I bought a truck, but instead of like driving the truck myself, I hired a driver.
Right away?
Yeah, right away. So
that's nice.
Because my mindset was like, I don't want to be a truck driver forever, so I want the first truck that I buy to be one that I don't drive, because I don't want to get comfortable. Like, I don't want to put myself in like a permanent position, because like if I buy this truck and I'm making a good amount of money, it's not going to motivate me to to find a driver and then like get my own truck. So
that's
I was
nice.
like, I want to, you know, I don't want to get in it's like habits. I believe in like habits. So it's like I don't want to make a habit early of like me making myself stuck, because it's like easy to get stuck in trucking.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially like, you know, we young, so it's like you start making a lot of money early, you can get stuck in that. So I'm like, nah, I want the first truck that I buy to be one that I put a driver in, because then I'm gonna have a habit. I'm gonna create that habit of like getting the truck, finding the driver.
That's really smooth.
And then, you know, I was still a company driver. Like, so I was a company driver, but I had a driver in my truck. And then after I, you know, went through that whole entire process and saw what it was like, then I went and got another truck. And then I, you know, that's for myself. So pretty much I do reefer. So I drive like a reefer truck. So I pretty much do like produce and frozen stuff. So like ice cream, pizza, grapes, tomatoes. Like I pick up a lot of stuff like down in Nogales, like the border of Mexico and Arizona.
Yeah.
And then I also come to Salinas a lot.
You know, Salinas? Yeah.
You pick up a lot of stuff in Salinas too?
I drop off there. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. So yeah, I get a lot of produce and stuff like from Salinas. So I got a sleeper truck. Like you got a day cab, I got a sleeper. So yeah, it's like, you know, we in the whole, like, that's the thing about trucking, like, it's so many different niches and there's so many different like leagues in this one league. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, crazy. Just like seeing like you were saying.
Yeah, that's why some people like straight up want to jump into that. Why do some truck drivers not make money? I mean, it's like comparing every other business. You know, why do some restaurants fail? Trucking is that big to the point where, you know, the guy next to you could be making millions of dollars and you could be losing money with your semi truck. So that's why it's interesting to learn a lot too. And I did notice too, you buy usually newer equipment, right?
Yeah. So pretty much like I go through this one company, and they only have a certain type of truck. So I went through this company. It's called like Wasatch Leasing, and it was like crazy deal. Like, for me, you know, because it's not the best. It's not the best like route to go for everybody. But it was literally like $7,500 down. Like a newer, like I pretty much took over a lease.
Yeah. Okay.
So I actually own one of my trucks, so I actually like did the buyout. So pretty much I ended up putting like I think I put $2,500 down on that truck. And I used my credit card. So like I didn't even like
high risk, high reward, guys.
Yeah. So like I didn't even use like none of my money up front. Like it's credit, so I didn't use any of my cash up front. So I used my credit card, used a down payment, and it was a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia, and it had an APU unit on it, so like it was like pretty good. So, and it only had 260,000 miles. So I'm like,
that's nice.
And it was, the total cost at that time was $76,500.
That's good.
Yeah. So at the end of the buyout, it was like a $48,000 buyout. So I'm like, if I run this truck good and I save my money, then I'll be able to like just buy it outright completely. And now the truck market is up now.
Yeah,
so,
$70K for that is
exactly
cheap, dude.
for it only has 260,000 miles. So I'm not really good like with my hands. Like I don't know how to fix shit and all of that.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing I tell people. Like if you don't really know how to fix trucks and work on trucks, it's not good to get like a super old truck because it's gonna break down. Yeah. It's gonna have problems with it. So, like me not knowing a lot, like me only being 10 months to the game, I would rather spend a little bit more money for newer equipment than spend money, less money for old equipment and then have to work on the truck, because like I'd rather just run and then get the numbers and see what the numbers are like, and then I can sit back like, okay, is it worth it? Because my truck never really sat for like more than a week or two.
Man, that's damn.
Like,
and you've been on it for almost a year and a half, no?
Yeah, a year. Like I've had the truck for like a year. It never really sat for more than a week. It just sat like 2 weeks, like a month ago. But like that's a whole year. So I got it's running. All I had to do was oil change, tire changes. So that's better than like getting a $30,000 truck and that shit is in the shop every 2 weeks. Like, so it's like I wanted to get a newer truck to where I didn't really have to worry about like the maintenance of it, and I can actually like see the numbers. And then I plan on selling it once it gets to like 550 to 600,000 miles, because then that's when you start having engine problems, transmission problems, and all those things. Right. And then I can take that equity, and then if I want to get another truck, then I'm gonna get a newer truck, and then just repeat the process all over.
That's why that's a good point too, because a lot of people think if you're buying an $80,000 truck, you're kind of stuck with the 80,000, but you could always sell them if you buy the right thing. Like with my semi truck last time too, bought it for 28. For me, I had the choice to buy a $10,000 truck or that one, and you're selling for 27. Same with the higher price one. If you buy a good mileage one, it's not like you're stuck there. Exactly. You could always sell it, so it's not like you're losing that much money. So that's a pretty good strategy too. If you have the money to go that high,
and you're not really losing money because you made money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
you
made money. So if you make money and then you sell it for, even if you sell it for a little bit less than what you bought it for, you gotta, calculate the amount of money or the revenue that you brought in off the truck before you sold it.
Considering what you put down too, because it's not like you're putting down 70,000.
Exactly.
So your return on investment is pretty high.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. So did you get into trucking too mostly because of the money, or what else?
Yeah, I got into it basically like I wanted to make money. Like I saw like it was getting your CDL only take a month.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do that takes a month to learn and you can make up to 70, 80, 90, $100,000 in your first year. Like I went to college. I got my degree in psychology. I did 4 years in college. So I was only going to get a job for like $15 an hour.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
I'm like, okay, I was able to go through I hated college, by the way. Like I hated that shit. So it was just like, if I can go to college for 4 years, bro, I can drive a semi truck for 2 to 4 years. And in 4 years, let's just say I drive a semi truck for 4 years and I save up $25,000 every year. 25 times 4, that's $100,000. Now I can quit and then use that $100,000 of capital to invest in other business ventures, and then I'll never have to drive again. So it's like trucking is a good way to like build up capital if you have no capital. And that's why I started off as a driver. A lot of people want to get into trucking and just buy a truck. And
it's not smooth like that.
It's not really smart to get in it that way, because there's going to be times, if you own a truck, there's going to be times where you have to drive that truck. And there's like going to be times where you hire a driver and that driver is
not
available, messes up the truck, leaves the truck, something happens. So I'm like, I don't have enough capital to just go buy a truck. So I'm like, I have to start. I got to get my hands dirty and build up my capital that way, and then go from there. So I got into trucking. I'm like, I need some capital, because everything requires capital. Like, I really wanted to get into real estate, but it's like real estate, you need capital to go buy a property, and you need capital to do anything. So I'm like, what's a fast way that I can build capital? So when I got into trucking, I'm like, all right, bet I'm about to do this. But when I got into it, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's crazy
I didn't
too,
know it was this hard.
You kind of want to. I mean, you dedicate a lot of time to it too.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of time. It's your whole life.
You dedicate. It's a lot of, like, trucking isn't a job or a career. It's a lifestyle.
It's like a real life business because it's so close to a job. Being a driver and owner operator is very similar, but it's literally a business where you have to dedicate all your time to it.
It's a lifestyle. Like, it's a way you live your life. Like, my lifestyle is trucking. Like, I'm always on the move. I'm always on the go. You know, my life is fast paced. I'm in, like, I was just in Arizona, now I'm in California. Before, like, a couple days ago, I was in Michigan. Like, I'm always on the move. It's hard to eat healthy, hard to work out. Like, my life is trucking. Yeah. So it's like you actually have to dedicate your life to this. Like, that's what some people, they don't want to do that. I didn't know I was gonna have to do that, but it's like it's either like when you get thrown into the deep end, are you gonna swim or are you gonna drown? Yeah. I'm not gonna drown ever. I'm never gonna drown. So it's like I had to force myself to learn how to swim, but I didn't know I was gonna be thrown that far into the deep end. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot. Because, I mean, a lot of people talk about, they ask me, how is it driving? Like, oh, it's nice, you know, you get on the truck, you drive almost the same thing every day, but if something goes wrong, I mean, we've seen what the accidents could cause, you know. Yeah. You can get, companies could sue you, you can, you know,
death, injury.
Yeah, to a lot of families. So things can go bad really quick. As simple as the job seems, really, really bad.
Like,
so,
and it's unexpected. And it's like, you know, you can have like 4 or 5 good days in a row where things are going good.
Yeah.
Then one day can just bad thing after another, after another, after another. And it's like, how are you going to...
It's me right now.
Yeah, exactly. How are you going to adjust and adapt? You got to be like a chameleon. You got to know how to adapt and adjust to your environments. And I say, like, the number one thing I learned from trucking is problem solving. Mm-hmm. Like, I learned how to just solve problems. Like, even outside of trucking, like, I'll be at home or I'll be somewhere and like a problem come up and I'll just think of a solution like real quick. I'm like, damn, like, how did I think of that? But it's like with trucking, like, there's been so many times where I've been on the road and something happened real quick and I had to like think fast on my feet, because if you're not proactive in trucking, you don't want to be reactive. You don't want to have to react to a situation, because then it's too late. Yeah. But you want to be proactive to where it's like, I'm preventing this situation from even occurring. So like, that's like the number one thing I say I learned from trucking, man, is like problem solving and adaptability.
That's cool. And then I was get a little bit to the money part. Do you think it's something you would stay in for a long time, or you want to exit? Like, is it something
I want to exit.
Once you build the system, you want to keep it or you want to get out of it?
No, yeah. What I want to do with trucking, I want to build a system. Like anything that has to do with like a business, it requires like a system.
Yeah.
So I want to build a system with trucking, and then I want to separate from the system. So I don't want to operate within the system. I want to operate outside of the system and have the working parts. You know, everybody does their job. You know, so I don't want to drive forever. Yeah. Like I don't want to drive after like this year really. So I'm trying to put myself in a position to where I can exit, but I still always want to have a foot in trucking. But I don't want to have my both feet, both hands, my whole body. I don't want everything to be in trucking, because I feel like it's limiting for like my abilities. Like I can't do what I want to do behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Like I write books, I have an online store, I do YouTube, like, you know, I'm an influencer. Like I do a lot of things outside of trucking, to where like if I stay behind the wheel for too long, now I'm limiting myself, and I'm, you know, like I'm not allowing myself to grow. So it's like I want to exit, but I want to do it in like a very strategic way.
Now, do you in my situation when I'm driving, I always kind of stress out while I'm driving, because you think about all the things you could be doing. Is that how you feel too?
No, I don't really stress out about like when I'm driving, and I'll tell you why. Because like when I got into trucking, I knew what I was getting myself into. So I knew I was gonna have to do 2 to 4 years. Like that's what I told myself, because like I said, I went to college. I went to college for 4 years. So what college taught me was how to complete a system and how to stay committed to something. So it's like when I got into trucking, I had already programmed my mind. Like my mind was already programmed, like, you're gonna do this for up to 4 years. Mm-hmm. Now if I do this shit for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, now I'm gonna start.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not even gonna do it. I'll just quit and not make money before I allow myself to go over 4 years, just because of that commitment that I made to myself. Like, I told myself this, so I have to stay true to what I told myself. So when I'm driving, like, I'm listening to books, I'm watching YouTube videos, like, I'm doing things to like build and like help me towards like what I'm trying to do. So it's like when I'm driving, I don't really stress myself out, but it's like I always tell myself, don't get stuck in this. You don't allow yourself to get stuck in this. So it's like I make sure like I'm programming my mind every single day, like, don't get stuck, like, figure out an exit, figure out a way out.
Cause you can get in real deep too.
Yeah, it's people that's been in trucking for 20 years, but they didn't plan on it. It's a lot of people that didn't plan on being on trucking 20 years. Yeah. It just happened. They just wake up like, man, I've been driving for 20 years.
And not even growing from it too. So it's important, to put out your goals. Cause for me too, I'm in the position right now where I have the opportunity to become a dispatcher.
Mm-hmm. You can make a lot of money doing that too.
My goals are really kind of like to grow the food truck and to open the gym in the future. So I'm stuck in between. So I still have to make it's a big choice to make.
Yeah.
To keep on chasing the money, because we chased it already. I mean, I've been in it for 2 years too.
And it went by quick.
Yeah, it goes by super quick. So, I mean, for a lot of people say don't chase the money, but thinking about what are you doing right now for money, We got in there for 2 years, and would you say it paid off? Worth it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
Yeah, like I'll say, like, just off one semi truck, like if my semi truck is running, like, and no breakdowns, no nothing, like it's just running how it's supposed to, like one semi truck can bring in anywhere from like $28,000 to like $35,000 per month. Yeah. I wasn't even making that a year as a regular person, like as a regular worker. So like that's what a lot of people don't understand. You have to spend a period of your life chasing money. But
exactly.
You have to chase money with a purpose. You can't just chase money purposely, because then you're going to become a slave to the chase. But if you chase money with a purpose, it's like, okay, I'm chasing the money for this amount of time, or I'm chasing the money until I get to this goal, and then once I get here, boom, I'm transitioning to something else, and I'm going to use this money to invest in my purpose so I can fulfill my purpose. So pretty much, like, I'm a writer, like I write books, so I know I wasn't going to make a lot of money writing books at first, so I'm like, I need some capital so I can reinvest into books, so I can market myself, so I can publish myself, so I can print myself, so I can do all of these things myself. But now I got to chase the money. I already know what my purpose is. Trucking has become a part of my purpose because it's helping me fulfill my purpose and helping me reach a bigger audience and helping me inspire people, and I've developed a love for it, a passion for it. But a lot of people don't understand that you have to spend a period of time in your life chasing money. Yeah. Because we all gonna work. Even before I was doing truck, I was working, but I was only making $20 an hour, $15 an hour, $10 an hour, and that's slavery. You can't do that.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. You gotta think about what you're doing right now for money, because some people just doing construction, for, like you said, $15 an hour.
That's slavery.
It's nothing, dude. That's nothing at all. So as you guys can tell, this guy definitely writes books. Pretty cool words. If you guys like that, definitely check out his channel.
Oh, yeah,
the video is very good, very informative. If you guys want more info, like I said, what's your channel name?
My channel name is just Ken V. So Ken and then V like Victor. So Ken space and then V. Type that in, you'll definitely be able to find me.
So make sure you guys check that out. Like I said, I'll pop it up in the screen, leave it on the description below. And thank you for coming out, bro.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you, man.
We'll be in touch, man.
Yes, sir.
See you guys.